The question for today's video is Georgia basketball and NCAA tournament team. Georgia started the season really well against weaker competition. They had the #1 offense in college basketball, really looking like they were going to be able to make some noise in the NCAA tournament. Since then, they're 4-5 in the SEC and 0-3 in the last 3 games. On the podcast, I've been talking about some of Georgia's struggles, defensive rebounding, shot selection, and hitting 3-pointers. Before the game against Tennessee, I said the difference in rebounding between these two teams would make it really difficult for Georgia to win the game. Going into the game, Tennessee was 4th in offensive rebounding. Now they're 2nd in offensive rebounding. It was really even more of a problem in the game than I thought it was going to be. Tennessee won the rebounding margin 52-27. They outgained Georgia 26-7 on offensive rebounds, and that was really the difference in the game. When Georgia did play good defense, they still couldn't get a rebound. Tennessee's ability to get multiple chances on one possession was really the difference in the game. You look, and Tennessee and Georgia both hit the same number of shots in the game, had the same number of threes, but Tennessee took 10 more shots than Georgia did. The difference score-wise was 1 free throw. So Tennessee's ability to get second chance opportunities really sunk Georgia. And the last sequence of the game is something that kind of sums up some of Georgia's problems. You have nearly 12 seconds left on the clock. Have a timeout. Georgia's down 3 points. Mike White decides not to call a timeout. That's okay. But what you have to do there is either hit the 3 or take a quick shot and try to get 2 possessions. Georgia didn't do either. Georgia tried to get a good shot with Smurf Millender. He's been really good in late game situations. The shot wasn't there. Rather than call timeout or kick it out and try to hit a 3, Smurf Millender uses the whole clock, shoots a 2, lose the game at home with a timeout left. You just can't do that. Then against Texas A&M, Georgia got down 26-6 to start the game at home. And really, Texas A&M does what Georgia wants to do. They have a fast-paced, high-octane offense, only the Aggies hit their 3-pointers. Aggies were 13 for 34 in the game from 3-point range. That's 38%. Georgia went 7 for 28 for only 25% from 3-point. Dogs lost the rebound margin in that game as well, 46-39, and Texas A&M also had double the free throws that Georgia had. So let's talk about these problems that are really slowing Georgia down going into the rest of the season. Georgia is 300th in 3-point percentage. That is killing the offense. Georgia wants to play an up-tempo, fast-paced offense. In order to do that, they really need to be hitting threes, and they're not doing it. And they haven't really been able to do it much of the season. They also have very poor shot selection. Georgia's shot selection at times is very puzzling, taking very bad shots, very bad threes early in the shot clock, and it's just not working. Georgia has to make better decisions, then they should be taking less of these ill-advised threes. If you're not hitting them, man, don't take them. Georgia has proven they're just not a good 3-point shooting team, and the question is, does Georgia need to shift away from taking so many 3-pointers? Georgia has to get more out of Blue Cain. Blue Cain is a leader on the team. He's a good defensive player, and at times he's a weapon on offense. This Georgia squad has the ability to win games in the NCAA. But right now, they are looking like previous Georgia teams who start fast and then fall apart. So with about half of the SEC slate left, Georgia has to play better. They have to hit the defensive glass. They have to get these rebounds and stop letting these teams have second chance points. Georgia has to be smarter and take better shots. And Georgia needs to think about, do we need to go to more of an inside the paint type of offense? There's been a lot of bright spots this far. You're seeing some young players like Wilkins and Stagg improve. Cannon Catchings has been great for Georgia. And you've had a lot of production out of players like Jeremiah Wilkinson and Smurf. This team has all the potential in the world, but they are going to have to improve down the stretch if they want to even make the NCAA tournament, much less on last year's first-round exit. If you want more Georgia and SEC basketball, tune into my page, Sports Takes with Nate Skates. We'll break it all down in longer podcasts, videos, and shorts. So what do you think about Georgia's chances for the NCAA tournament? Will the Dogs finally win a game in the first round, or is this going to be another team that has a first-round exit? Let me know in the comments.